270 pounds is so funny right now. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like this. Okay, so all of the topics, all the questions, whether it was going back to the press conference, post pay-per-view Saturday, if it's the headlines that I've read about since, including moments before I'm coming to talk to you guys, if it's rumblings that I'm having with fellow friends within the space. One thing we're not talking about is an incredible fight coming up for the championship of the world with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, for whatever reason. The biggest fight the division has right now, I'm not hearing talk about. I'm hearing some really interesting stuff. Start with Colby. Colby comes out, says that he accepted a fight with Masvidal. Dana offered him a fight. Colby has accepted it. The ball's in Masvidal's court. How much of that is accurate? I'm sharing with you what was said. So Colby has made it very clear that he wants to fight Masvidal, okay? Leon calls out Masvidal. Masvidal shuts Leon down. Masvidal is rumored and I think currently believes that he's fighting Nate Diaz. So Leon says that Masvidal said no. Colby says that he said yes to Masvidal. Nate Diaz has said absolutely nothing. I'm starting to think the point that Dana's in right now, just a guess, but I think it's a very level guess. The first two guys who can come to an agreement, he'll sign off on. I mean, that's what it's starting to sound like. It's starting to sound like, man, we got a lot of fun right now. We got a lot of fun in this division. And the good news for the division is we got so much fun and so many names that the two best guys, the biggest fight, which is Burns versus his former teammate, Kamaru, isn't even the one that's being talked about. All right, great. Great for the division. Congratulations, everybody. But one constant is Colby Covington. He keeps saying, I'll fight anybody. Well, how come nobody's coming to him? Now, I'm sure that Leon would, and I'm sure that Colby probably has the least of an interest there. Poor Leon just can't get anything to go his way. Okay. But Leon's not doing anything wrong by wanting to get an answer for the three-piece Minnesota. Masvidal's not really doing anything wrong by going, hey, man, I'm the biggest star in the whole sport right now, and I just don't feel like doing this. And then Nate says nothing at all. Now, Nate's always a tough one. Nobody can get more run than a Diaz boy by doing nothing. I mean, I will never forget the time. Just because it was such a lesson. There was just such a marketing lesson here that happened on accident. Nick Diaz is going to go face off at a press conference with George Masvidal. Now, I apologize, with George St. Pierre. Now, this was very interesting because at that time in the sport, that is not how press conferences were done. Dana's going to fly you in, put on an event, come to it him damn self, get the media out there. He's going to put 5, 6, 7, 8 fights up there. He's going to be spreading around the next 4 months. Or at a very minimum, he's going to put everybody on the main card. You're going to have 10 fighters up there, 5. I mean, there's going to be a lot of microphones. So when Dana did this one, it was very unique because it was Dana in the middle, St. Pierre over here, Nick Diaz here. That really never been done before. At the same time, if one of those guys doesn't show up, you now don't have a press conference, which I don't think is what anybody would have ever thought. Why would you not show up to a press conference? I don't know that it had ever been done. Guys generally look forward to that. It's one of the rewards of the sport is you get a little attention. I got to do the punches and kicks. I got to work my ass up. But right now I get a little attention. How many people get that at their job, right? You all work very hard. Do you ever get any credit for it? It's just one of those things. Who doesn't show up for a press conference? Nick Diaz, that's who. So you got Dana up there. You got George up there looking like $1 million in his $8,000 suit. And you have an empty chair. Dana was so upset and concerned about this. I mean, just in a logical standpoint where Dana's going, look, this guy gave me his word. He didn't get on an airplane to come to a press conference where I don't even want him to be punched or kicked. He didn't even have to weigh in. We're going to feed him a nice meal. He's going to get some attention. If the guy can't show up for that, how do I trust that he's going to show up for this fight? And Dana was beside himself. He was really worried. He really was. What am I going to do? I got to kick Nick right now. I can't count that Nick's going to show up. I got to boot him now because if I find out the day of the pay-per-view, nobody's happy. Dana ended up taking a bigger risk because surprisingly what ended up happening is that made it on SportsCenter. Now this is a time when you couldn't get on SportsCenter. ESPN just wasn't carrying it. The press conference with Dana, George St. Pierre, and a missing Nick Diaz got more attention and more run. Dana just had to go with it. He just had, okay, I got to take the risk. This is too red hot right now. PR department at the UFC thought, our numbers are going to tank. They do an analysis. They look at what's getting looked at and grabbed, Google alerts, and just all these different things. They don't have any. They're at zero. This is going to bomb. Ended up not bombing. Ended up doing absolutely incredible, particularly based around the projections of what they thought that it was going to do. I only share that with you because the Diaz boys can get away with doing nothing. But in this particular situation, it would be very helpful if Nate said something. Because as much as Masvidal is going to get his way for being where he is in the sport, so's Nate. So is Nate Diaz. So it would be really helpful to know what those two want to do. There was even a rumor that they were going to go fight each other. I haven't heard that rumor in a minute because I haven't heard anything from Nate. Dana's coming out saying it might be Masvidal and Colby. Colby seems to think it is and has already agreed to the whole damn thing. Leon going after Masvidal isn't going to happen. Probably is down the road just out of a code of honor. Masvidal knows the rules. Masvidal knows you touch a guy 4 times and he never touches you. You got to go do that. Masvidal will give him that chance. I'm very comfortable in telling you guys, but not right now. Timing does matter. And Masvidal's got this ace of spades in his sleeve. He's got to play it the right way. And in fairness, he's right. He's right. There's just other things to do. And I think that Dana's ready to say, first 2 guys that come into my office, I'll sign off on it right now. That is what I'm feeling like. It's a very fun division. There's a lot of interesting things going on right now, but it just seems you can't get 3 people to have the same idea, and that's all you need. Red corner, blue corner, Dana. It seems we can't quite get 3 people to have the same idea.